Really, my
You know.
first introduction to you is the first season of NXT. No Performance Center, none of that. The first season
Mm.
of a game show of NXT. How was that pitched to you originally?
Man, literally, we were all in developmental, and Dr. Tom Pritchard and Steve Curran came around, and they pretty much said they wanted the top eight, and there's a new show. ECW was leaving, they're bringing in something new, this and that, and man, next thing you know, man, NXT, young rookies with pros, and they explained it to us like, did you watch like old school WCW?
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember Future Shock where they had like the tournament of the tag teams and the single guys, and it was like for the tag team, it was like Doom, Legion of Doom, Samoan SWAT team, and shoot, I forget who the other tag team was. And then on the single side, it was like Sting, Lex Luger, Flair, and Muda. So they had a tournament system, and like, if you got a pinfall, it's 30 points. If you got a count out, it was 10 points. If you got a, disqualifications, this is that. And that's how we thought it was going to be. But then next thing you know, we get up there and it's just like they don't even know what was going on. We were literally like we were just guinea pigs, man. Like we totally was guinea pigs. They had time to feel, they thought of an idea, and we were literally going off the cuff of it. Is
Wow.
pretty much what you saw on television, yeah.
Now, before the game show of NXT started,
Mm-hmm.
are any of you told beforehand who is going to win, or it really is a competition?
Oh no, we didn't know anything. Like, well, I know of at the beginning, none of us knew. Like when I got eliminated, I literally got eliminated. I just was
Okay.
like, well, shit. And then they always give you like a minute and a half at the end to cut a promo. So I just was like, I better just come up with something good. So I just like blurted out whatever I said.
So when you do get eliminated from NXT, like what are you doing after that? Where are you going? What are you doing? Because the show continues on for a few more weeks.
It does. Pretty much, they sent you right back to FCW. Yeah, so you just go right back to developmental and you watch your buddies on television.
Now, how did that feel?
It sucked, man. It sucked. You're just sitting there like, damn it. Like I should be there. I know I could have put on a better match than that. You know?
Of course.
Yeah.
What's even crazy is though, Wade Barrett ends up winning the tournament. The
Mm,
tournament. It should have been a tournament. The game show of
true.
NXT. And
Yeah.
then out of nowhere, this brand new, I see it behind you, this brand new faction, the Nexus, shows up and destroys the ring,
Oh my
the
God.
entrance, the Justin Roberts is choked out with a tie. It becomes the most controversial moment in the wrestling history, apparently. So again, how
Uh,
you're sent back to dental training. You're a
yep.
little sad. You're upset. You're seeing
Yep.
your buddies on TV, and out of nowhere, what happens? Who calls you and says, "Hey, we have this idea. We need to bring you in."
Brother, they literally told us at it was Raw in I think it was Miami, and their developmental system was in Tampa. So it's one of those things to where Dr. Tom and Steve was like, all right, guys, they want all of y'all to drive down to Miami for Raw. Dress nice, bring your gear. Who knows what's going to happen? It was one of those one of those things. So we're just like, well, shoot, okay. So we drive down there. We're sitting around, doing nothing, and then they call in for a little meeting. And next thing you know, man, we're passing out armbands and they're telling us that we need to destroy absolutely everything that's inside that barricade and don't touch any cameras or fans. And we were like, well, what? And Vince pretty much said he wanted it to be like an explosion happen and chaos. And he wanted us to be a pack of wolves on meat, man. And I
Wow.
kind of feel like we put that over good.
Yeah, I think out of all the factions that have ever existed on, say, debuts or just destruction in general, that one
Mm-hmm.
will go down as history because no commentary. The team runs away. They're
Oh, no,
scared.
no. They didn't run away. We whooped their ass.
Excuse me. Excuse me. Yeah,
No, no, no. They didn't run away.
I think Michael Cole was the only one who got free, right?
Watch that back, baby. We kicked everyone's ass.
I think was Michael Cole the only one who got away free
I
though.
mean, if he did, I know I beat up Jerry Lawler. We beat
Yeah.
up, the security around, the bell keeper. Like we anyone that we could touch, we beat up.
So does anyone know about this plan beforehand? Because obviously you have to go out there, you have to have John Cena's not going to just suddenly like start really punching you and running away and all that stuff. So what
Yeah,
does anyone know? Because it
dude.
seems like very secretive.
So pretty much, we all knew that was in the meeting with Vince. So it was pretty much all of Nexus, and then it was like Vince, John Laurinaitis, Pat Patterson, Michael Hayes, Malenko, Arn Anderson, like the crew of being like, all right, this is what I'm thinking, type deal. But Cena and them were putting their match together and everything, and then they got brought in, mid-show saying, hey, cut the finish. This is what's going to happen here. And then they were like, okay. And then Cena pretty much was like, all right, y'all just listen to me while we're in there. And what's crazy is that Cena is just such a loud communicator anyway, to where like you can literally see him, hold on. We're just like, dude, calm down. Everyone can hear you.
Like, sir, there's microphones around the ring.
Right? It's like,
We
bro,
can
you're
hear
so
you at
loud.
home.
You're like, you are so loud.
Oh my. So
But yeah, pretty much like that.
who came up with Nexus then? Because obviously, again, Wade Barrett wins. So
Yeah.
underneath the guise of NXT, the rules, Wade Barrett's going to get a world championship shot. He has a contract. Well, now you all have contracts. So did anyone speak to Wade and be like, hey, you won, but we all kind of won, didn't we?
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, we all did win, and, like in the promos that he preached, it was more like hey, we all thought of this together. We all wanted to do this together. That's why we all came in together, this and that type deal. So like, it kind of like made sense through, what he was saying during his promos on Raw and everything. But I think he should have won the world title. I feel like we should have, won SummerSlam and then they kill us at Mania, but there's a lot of what ifs and what could have, would have, and should have been done, but what's crazy to me is that, what was Nexus? 9 months, maybe 10 months, 9 months. And what is it? 14 years later, people still talking about this,
It was great.
So, yeah. No, it was great. It was really cool.
Now, what is the atmosphere with all the wrestlers? Because again, you're coming in, you're not destroying just John Cena, you destroyed the Ring, you're destroying other legends, other athletes, huge talents in the wrestling world that are never touched by anyone, and the Nexus is destroying them. Are other wrestlers kind of giving you the side eye, being like, I've been here for 5, 6, 7 years, and you're out here, first chance, out here destroying main event stars?
Yeah. I know the higher ups, like the takers and that levels, they all were like cool about it, but that they were putting us in our place real quick too. Like we couldn't, like when they saw us having a good time, they reminded us that we sucked, so pretty much like that sometimes. But all in all, like later on, after us being the kids and we grew up a little bit, like of course, we all became buds and they were cool with us and we're all having some drinks together and then picking on us, but it's like we got accepted though. But back then when we were the kids, we're coming up like, oh, wow, we're doing this, we're doing that. This is awesome. This and that, we're badasses, da, 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 da. So, I mean, I'm sure some of us did have a little chip on our shoulder, but the higher ups definitely let us know, who was, I mean, we didn't even get to change in the damn locker room until like Nexus formed. So we was in broom closets and extra room.
Really? Now, I've heard that story a million times from other people. Is that a common thing where if you're not a main roster talent or either you're not accepted by the boys, they make you change somewhere else in the building?
I kind of want to say that we were like the last little era of that. Because like after I was there for like 5, 6 years and the extra talent would come in, they had their own locker room. Like we literally had like a janitor's closet. So yeah, so wow. It was like, I feel like we were the last tail end of the Wild Wild West days.
Yeah, I think once HR gets involved and they're like, excuse me, what's happening? We're paying these people. They're not allowed in the actual area. Like, this is an HR problem that could turn sideways. But again,
it could.
Do you complain and the boys know you tattled out? Like, there's a lot of situations that could go awry if you're like, HR, Undertaker won't let me change in the locker room. I'm changing in a broom closet. It's yucky.
And they're just like, Undertaker? you know. But no, honestly, it was one of those things like paying your dues. Like I know
Yeah.
for a fact that people before me had it worse. So yeah, you know. So I've heard those stories too. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think it was fine. It made you grow. It made you see the business how it was. Like a lot of people was like just like, dude, you really was changing the broom closet? I was like, yeah, many times, many
Right.
times.
Try to
Yeah,
humble you, I guess, as the Iron Sheik would say. Though,
pretty much.
after the Nexus made its debut, there are multiple pay-per-views where the Nexus interrupts the main event.
Yep.
And if you're interrupting a main event that someone paid for, like $60, and you come out and the match really gets destroyed by the Nexus, which is great for Nexus, which is great for television-wise. But if
Mhm.
I'm hoping I'm going to see an ending to a match, and then out here comes the Nexus and destroy everybody,
Yeah.
and Sheamus somehow becomes champion again, everyone's like, ugh.
That going it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this really makes me upset. But then we roll into SummerSlam 2010. And this
Yeah.
is where I believe is unfortunately the beginning of the end of the Nexus, because Jericho and Edge have gone on record saying that the Nexus should have beat, which I used to like to call them John Cena's All Stars, because I swear they said that on TV once, and
They
then they
probably
never
did.
said it again. John Cena's All Stars, that you Nexus lose. Edge and
Yeah.
Jericho both have gone on different podcasts and said that was the wrong decision. John Cena at the time, Super Cena, whatever he wants to do. How do you stay on top? Well, sometimes you got to squash some bugs on the way. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, I think that's what happened. But I think John later on has apologized, being like, whoops, my bad, my mistake. What were you thinking heading into SummerSlam 2010? Were there ever plans for the Nexus to actually win this match?
Yes, we were going in winning. You know, like we were supposed to be winning that match, and then around 5 o'clock or so, like it all changed. Jericho and Edge both like pretty much put all the match together. Like they're the one that was summing it up and putting it together and thinking of the ways, you know, of eliminations and stuff. Plus with the producers, but Jericho and Edge was the one that's like pretty much was mapping out the match, and at first we were going over, then we weren't. But like, I mean, you know what? Shit like that happens, and it sucks because like I wish someone was just thinking about the bigger picture and not themselves, type deal, you know. And then I always said it, and I've always said it on other podcasts. And it's one of those things to where like Nexus was on that bridge, on that cuff of like we already destroyed everything. We literally poured the gasoline all over the town. We have the match in our hand, and we're just like, yeah, we're about to take over. And then when we're about to light that daggone gasoline, someone just says, and blows it out. And we never got that momentum back, man. Like, Nexus should have won SummerSlam. We all should have went back in the ring, stood tall. They ended SummerSlam that way. What in the world is WWE going to do? Holy crap. What's going to happen? Nexus is taking out the best. Then we take over for a few months. Of course, it's a little ups and downs. But then next thing you know, man, we have the damn blow off at Mania. And once that happens, it's just, holy shit, here we go. Have the super group. Here comes the Avengers, and they're whooping our ass. That's exactly what I was like picturing. That didn't happen that way. And then we had the group, the core, and then that's whenever we went in there and fought, Team SmackDown and lost 8 minutes of our time. And yeah.
Yes, we will get to the core in just a minute. Don't you worry. Though, yes, everything you just said is exactly how everybody else in the world feels. That here's the moment, and like I'll give an example of say the Shield. The Shield comes in, destroys Ryback, John Cena, CM Punk. Okay, they help CM Punk. Those three people, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Jon Moxley, the name rose at the time, all went on to become world champions. They created 3 stars in one group. In my brain, the Nexus was exactly that. You destroy John Cena and all the good guys and some bad guys. You go along your way. Eventually, you do break up. But what you've done is now you've created all these stars. The Justin Gabriels, Michael Tarver, David Otunga, Wade Barrett, all those guys suddenly shoot up. Maybe some become main event stars, maybe middle ground, maybe a tag team. Maybe some don't succeed. but you would have created stars out of that group. And what
Yeah.
happened was you created kind of like chaos where like, okay, well, they're kind of over now, but like, what do we do with the people who we think still have potential, but didn't get to, as you describe it, take that match and light the town on fire? And it never
Exactly.
happened. Eventually, even John Cena joins the Nexus. And then he doesn't do what Wade Barrett tells him to do. When it's clear today, it's Wade Barrett's about to win the world title, but it's not. It's a
Yeah.
John Cena Nexus show, and unfortunately, John Cena gets fired from the WWE. He's on the house show loop as Juan Cena wearing a mask. So again, how did you feel about that situation? Because no longer is the Nexus show. It's the John Cena show, also with the Nexus.
It sucked, man. Yeah, it sucked. Like I said, as soon as SummerSlam happened and the winds went out of the sails in the boat, it wasn't the same. The reactions didn't sound the same. Whenever we would come in and do things, like we would get the whole but it wasn't the whoa, So it was just one of those things where like right after SummerSlam, it just wasn't the same, like at all. Oh, let's Cena join Nexus, but when he joins Nexus, he actually fights against us and makes us lose from the inside. Like, it makes no sense,
Yeah.
And then Punk takes over. Then there's a new Nexus. But then the old Nexus is the core of the Nexus, and then we become the core on SmackDown. It's just one of those things where, like, I understand a little bit, but it's like we had so many new talent, even in NXT coming up. Like, you had Joe Henning, you had, Bray Wyatt. You had Fandango. Guys like that was that. Well, Bray and Joe got into new Nexus.
Right.
But what I'm saying is like Fandango's a good one. Big Con, he was a good one. Like there was guys that are talented that could have filled spots, and we could have been like an NWO. There could have been a yellow Nexus. Then over there is the red Nexus. You know what I mean? Yes, that probably is going way too far, but it could have happened.
No, I agree.
And what kills me is that like today, I said this on a podcast literally like 2 weeks ago, and I really believe today, like you have Wade on commentary, you have a lot of us that's not under contract yet, anymore, to where like they could do Nexus again, have us invade again, stuff like that. But we're not kids no more. We're grown ass men, and we're coming in being like, all right, man, like I remember what we did wrong last time, but we ain't gonna mess up this time. And here we come in just whooping ass again. I mean, look up these guys on the internet. Wade Barrett's still in shape. Tarver still looks like he'd eat you up. Ryback's in shape. Darren Young's in shape. Justin Gabriel's still skydiving and doing 450 splashes. I'm 245 and I'm getting abs. So it's one of those things where like we can go, man. We can go. So it's like come on, Hunter, call us up.
I love it.
Back.
Oh man, I was in that press conference that night, and right. they're like, okay, main event's over. Everyone in the press conference, and we're just sitting there, and you hear in the music the distance, what the hell is that?
No,
and then is that no, that can't be right. And then every media member crowded around this little monitor,
right?
And we all watched it like we were at home watching it on TV instead of sitting in the crowd where we were just 5 minutes ago. Oh boy, they ruined it. The WWE PR didn't know shit. So guess what? Not every secret gets out.
Hey, and that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I do enjoy that.
My God, there's nothing better than the good secrets that the internet doesn't ruin, I mean, like, I'm always a big fan of Rumbles. Like, I've been a Royal Rumble fan as a kid. But whenever, you get a little older, you understand it, but then you don't know the surprises that come. I still believe to this day we should have at least 5 surprises.
Yes.
I mean, number 5 should be one, number 12, number 15, number 21. You know what I mean? Like, put some of those. I mean, we all get that, holy crap, this is awesome moment,
Oh, yeah.
So, like, I really hope Hunter, like, adds some seasoning with the, holy crap, this guy's coming back. Even if it's just, here's your check for one day. Like, let it be a nice little surprise. It's cool,
I was at the 2011 Rumble and Kevin Nash showed up, but it's Diesel. And holy moly, that place went ballistic. Booker T also made an appearance that night too, and the whole place went crazy. But then Nexus 2.0 tossed him out though.
Yeah. Hell yeah, right.
So
The
screw you, Nexus
2.0.
2.0.
Yeah, damn it, Nexus. I'm a Booker fan too.
What was your relationship like with Vince McMahon though during the tail end of the Nexus, or even the heart of Nexus? Because there's so many of you. Are you guys getting one-on-one time with Vince, or is it more just a group effort and Vince is talking to all of you at the same time?
It was definitely a group effort and Vince talking to us at the same time. But like Wade would have a little special treatment because, well, I wouldn't call it special because he would have to memorize all these promos. And these promos wasn't, just here's a few words, just say this. It was just like, bro, you're going to say like 15 pages worth of a promo, you got to memorize this stuff. So like I would always just be like, oh man. And like everyone would always like to go to Wade because I mean we always call him like the grandfather. Like he has that old soul. He doesn't go out. He doesn't like loud music. Like he's just that. Let me get some food. I don't want to go and lay down in bed and watch the news. He's that type of dude. But he's a hell of a person, great heart, and I love him to death. Good human being. But I remember times like we would go up to him, but hey, wait, like Stu, and he'll just be like, no, stop, like because he's studying over his lines and everything. And we would go and mess with him, and he'll be like, Miller, it's not the time, and I'm just like, all right, man, my bad.
I know, no longer the winds of change. He has to memorize 15 pages of lines where most likely the words that no one actually uses in a regular sentence.
That's very true too. That is
Like,
and Vince can be specific about those words too.
yeah, but like I'm sorry, like I watch wrestling and I guess somewhat educated, but not everyone is educated in the entire world. You don't have to have the biggest words in the world to like,
Dude.
oh yes, oh. I remember one year, I don't even know what the word still kind of means. Is Ric Flair came back into the WWE, he's like, I'm the consortium, and the consortium. I'm like, what the hell's a consortium? I never heard this word before. Do you own the company or do you don't own the company, Flair?
Right?
I'm massively confused.
Speak English,
Yeah, just say it. You're half the owner. Just say
right?
half the
Half
owner.
the owner.
The
But that's just,
consortium.
but it's funny though because you're right because there'd be some word that you never heard of and it just would mean dumb or stupid,
Yep.
And you just say,
Yep.
why can't I just say stupid?
No, no, no. It's gotta be.
No, that makes you sound stupid.
Yeah,
You know?
you gotta be bigger than that. Oh
Yeah.
my lord.
You have to confuse the stupid people.
Yes, of course. Oh, I'm sorry. What they say? I don't know. I'm gonna go buy some more merchandise.
Right?
That's what he's probably thinking. You
Right.
won the tag team titles though with Justin Gabriel,
Mhm.
and what was that experience like? Because obviously you're in the business, you're trying to climb up the ranks, and you've
Mhm.
actually won a championship. Not everyone has won a title. Not just because you have a job doesn't mean you get the world championship or the tag team
Very
titles.
true.
How'd that feel?
Oh, it was amazing, man. And Gabriel's like, man, he was in my wedding, man. He's like one of my best friends. I love him to death. Still talk to him today. And winning the titles with him, we actually won, I think, 3 times maybe. And we got a double pack figure together and a lot of trading cards like on my wall together. So it's like one of those things that were like a lot of my career I remember with him. And even before that, because like we used to go out in Tampa together and have a good time, restaurants, clubs, all that stuff. And we would travel the roads together and wrestle each other and all that, even before we made it to WWE. So it was one of those things like we were good friends before anyone ever saw us on television. But no, it was a pleasure. Like I love him to death, and like I love those times that we shared together.
Yeah. I love his new look though, because if I interviewed him a few weeks ago, and he's got this long beard, like this long beard in the middle and all this, and it's like if someone was like, "Is that him?" Like someone didn't believe that it
Oh,
was Justin
bro,
Gabriel.
he looks like Gandalf the Grey, man.
Yes, yeah,
Dude, I swear he could be a wizard.
he probably is. He probably is. And we talked about it earlier a little bit,
He
but
might be.
CM Punk taking over the Nexus.
Yeah.
This is kind of a two-part question. Did people lose faith in Wade Barrett, or is CM Punk complaining about his placement and he's getting kind of like, okay, fine, you're complaining, Punk, that's fine. You can have the Nexus. Yeah, you'll be the
Yeah.
leader. Like, is that
Uh,
what happened?
Honestly, I don't know. I want to say that Vince thought of an idea of having us literally break up, but half and half because he wanted a group for SmackDown. So in my mind, Vince was like, "Well, Gabriel, Heath, Wade, they're the original in here." And Ryback, I heard, was supposed to be in it, but he like broke his ankle, so he couldn't be. So that's why Zeke got that spot. But I don't know if like Punk was complaining or anything like that. Like I didn't hear anything like that. I just heard that Punk was taking over Nexus, but me and Gabriel was leaving and we're going to go to SmackDown with Wade and form this new group called the Core. And I just was like, well, okay. And literally, I think I was with Punk, me and Gabriel both, maybe 1 or 2 episodes. And I remember Punk had a Nexus shirt, but it had his symbol in it as yellow.
Yeah.
And I remember me and Gabriel both just ever got one. And because like they would always have Nexus shirts for us, every night on television nights and house show nights. We would go to the trainer's room, get her tape and baby oil, grab a Nexus shirt, and we would get probably like 5 a week. So yeah, exactly. It was nuts.
You get a
So
box of them at your house right now?
well, I did, and then I got released and I sold them. So I got a few left, but not many. But so I got that one Punk shirt that I've only had one of, and we wore it on TV once. And as soon as that happened, we were supposed to um, beat each other up with kendo sticks in the back. And then like we looked at it, Punk, like we were going to hit him, and he just was like, "Yeah, hit me." And then we just dropped him and walked off, and then we became on SmackDown. And that was the only doing that I ever had with his part of Nexus.
It just seemed so out of the blue where suddenly CM Punk was the leader of the Nexus. And I think in again, my question is why I asked about the complaining part, because if you flash forward a little bit, suddenly the Nexus kind of just disappears and CM Punk cuts the pipe bomb promo on
Yeah.
John Cena, and then that
Yeah.
leads into the Summer of Punk and so on and so forth. So like it just felt like I don't know, it just seems like CM Punk complained, got
Yeah.
something, and then didn't like the thing he got, and then kept complaining.
Yeah.
And eventually, obviously, he became the best in the world and had a great title run and all that good
Yeah.
stuff. But I always felt
Honestly,
like that.
I don't know the backstory behind it, man. I wished I did. I could tell you. I really don't.
And then the whole point of the core you keep bringing up was let's take some original members and split this group up into two. CM Punk can have what piece, and then Wade Barrett,
Yep.
you and Justin and Big Zeke will be on SmackDown as the
Mhm.
core, which I always love because I think it's spelled with 2 R's.
Yep. It is. It is.
For what
Um,
reason?
Man, who the hell knows? Because KORE I heard was trademarked, and then CORE was trademarked, and then I guess Vince was like, "Well, just add another R." And then Wade wanted to make up a thing on Twitter because we all were doing Twitter back then because it was a new social media thing. So he put out on Twitter that the reason it's spelled with 2 R's is because I can't spell, and I went to get the trademark and I spelled it wrong. So everyone believes I did it, which in all aspect it probably would be right because I can't spell for shit.
I remember seeing it. I was like, why are there so many R's? And then I remember seeing signs where people would hold them up and actually add more R's.
Ah, brother. To me, it was like a French word, like corée or something,
Oh,
I didn't know,
very fancy.
very, but honestly, I have no idea, man.
Okay.
And the story behind that is what I heard. I wasn't there, so I don't know, but I heard is that Core needed a shirt. They wanted to give him a shirt, and Vince literally took a napkin that his coffee was on, and with an ink pen and drew a shirt and wrote Core that way in like an Iron Man heart thing, and then gave it to him and said, "Print that up."
Yes, sir. Whatever you need,
Right,
sir.
right.
Are they supposed to be shaped like napkins, sir? No, it's on a
Yeah,
t-shirt. Oh,
yeah. Oh, okay.
all right. I just want to make sure,
Yeah,
sir. I
yeah,
don't know
my
what you
bad.
want.
I didn't know you wanted a
Consortium.
napkin. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It probably would have been better if the napkin was on the shirt.
I thought with the coffee stain on it too.
Yeah, why not?
Why not? I like that idea. No,
Yeah.
the core did have, you brought up the Nexus not having a WrestleMania match. Well, the core got a WrestleMania match, and it lasts maybe a minute and a half.
Yep,
Maybe. It's the core versus Big
maybe.
Show, Kane, Santino, and Kofi at WrestleMania 27.
Yeah,
Is your
man.
match supposed to be longer,
Um,
or is this always supposed to be short?
no, man. Our match, I think they said at first we had like 16 minutes. Okay. So we have 16-minute match, but I think Cody and Ray was before us, and they went like 8 minutes over. So our 16-minute match went from 16 down to, like 8 minutes, you know? So we have 8 minutes now, but Core has an entrance. Big Show has an entrance. Kofi has an entrance. Kane has an entrance. Santino has an entrance. So there's 5 minutes down from the 8 minutes. So that's 3 minutes. Brother, the bell rung, and I'm in the ring with Santino, and we had this whole spot. Like we had a match planned, but they literally said ding, 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 and the ref looked at me and said, go home. And I said, the fuck? What? He said, go home. And brother Santino comes in to lock up to start doing a spot, and I just kick him. Yeah. I said, brother, do your comeback. We gotta go home. And then I took the comeback. I did everything in that match. No one got tagged in. I started it. I did the comeback. I did the finish. I took the finish. Like it was just like a what the hell, So it was just one of those moments to where you're just like, this is WrestleMania, huh? This is what I'm supposed to be so excited about. What the hell? But
You
yeah, man.
didn't know until you were in the ring that your match was cut down?
Dude, no. We knew we lost time.
Okay.
So you watch those entrances. I mean, think about it. A Mania entrance is like 75 yards.
Right.
Like it is a football field. And that's just the damn entrance. And us, one entrance takes you 2 minutes. They say, the other entrance, and they're rushing them. And you're rushing them. And by the time it's time to ding, ding, ding and go, you have 2 minutes match time before the next match was supposed to start. So we had to go home quick. Professionals, baby, professionals.
So I guess the question
Yeah,
is, do you get paid by the minute?
I did that night. I did that night.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy, man.
Yeah, that's
But you have to be able to adapt, man. Like you have to do that. Like if I would have said, hell no, Santino, let's just keep going, let's just work our match, and we went 8 minutes over, and then that makes the next match lose 8 minutes, and if it keeps going, it's a trickle effect all the way to the main event. So if we didn't cut that match that short, we wouldn't have got right back on time. You know what I mean?
well, The Rock
You
was
got,
also the host of that WrestleMania, and I'm imagining he just kept talking. And I love The Rock, but
yeah,
you
of
know,
course, it
you know,
happens.
of course. But I would think, hey, it's WrestleMania, yay! Like you're very kind on how you're saying, this is how it is. Sometimes you get your match cut short, but in
Yeah.
reality, deep down, I've interviewed, like Tensai and Tyrus and the
Hmm.
Bella Twins and Naomi and all them. They got their match removed from
Yeah.
WrestleMania when they were at Gorilla, and
Yeah.
so and they got to have their match again on Raw the next night. But again, with you, you're the Nexus part. It's great. It's great. It's great. Oh, John Cena's in it. It's okay. Oh, we're broken up now. Oh, okay.
Hmm.
Oh, now we're at WrestleMania. Yay. Oh, our match is 1 minute. Like internally,
It
how are you feeling
sucks,
about this
man.
situation?
It sucks, man. Being honest, it sucks. But I'm that guy to be like, I try to look at the glass being half full than half empty. I've always tried to look at it as like the good side, not the bad. So I look at the part. Well, I was at Mania. I had a match at Mania. Yes, it might not have been that time that we wanted, but I got to walk down the aisle, look at the people, get in the ring, ding, 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 and like I'm here. You
Yeah.
know, it wasn't. I didn't stay as long as I wanted to. But I was there. And like so. I look like that. Like I look on that side because like life sucks sometimes, man. It does. Like life can suck, but if you let life suck and let it keep you down, all you're gonna do is let it. Like, it will swallow you up if you let it. So you gotta buck back and fight back and look at the good side, look on the bright side, and like keep moving forward. So that's what I did.